I overheard the mall Santa on his phone saying, "I've got 3 kids in line you might want to look at." He paused and glanced over at the kids in the line. "Yeah, the youngest is probably 5 or 6. I'll get you the photos when I get them isolated." My whole body went cold hearing that word, isolated. I pulled my daughter Annie closer to me. Santa hung up and walked back to his chair with his usual jolly smile, like he hadn't just said the most terrifying thing a parent could hear. I bent down and faced my daughter. "Annie, let's take a picture with Santa next year, okay?" She shook her head. "No, my wish won't come true." I stared at her, even wondered if I should tell her that Santa's not real at that moment, but I couldn't ruin the magic for her, so I nodded and went in line with her. The little boy ahead of us climbed onto Santa's lap and started listing what he wanted for Christmas. Normal Santa stuff until the boy mentioned his friend from school. "Yeah, Tyler hasn't been there since before Thanksgiving." Santa pulled out his personal phone while the kid was still sitting on him. "Is this Tyler?" He showed the boy a photo on his screen. The boy shook his head. Santa scrolled through more pictures. How about him? Or her? He kept swiping through what looked like dozens of photos of children. The boy didn't recognize any of them and finally got his candy cane and left. I felt even more nervous. Were those kids his victims? Was he here to make sure there aren't any witnesses left? Before I could react, it was finally our turn. Annie climbed up and immediately told Santa she wanted a Nintendo Switch. Santa chuckled and told her it was a great wish. He then asked what grade she was in and if she liked her teacher. Again, normal questions that every mall Santa asked, but then his questions shifted. "Are you and your friends excited for Christmas?" Annie grinned and nodded. "Yes, it means no school, except for Lily because she hasn't been at school since Halloween." Santa's expression changed completely. He handed Annie a yellow candy cane instead of the red ones I'd seen him give other kids. Then he wrote something down in a notebook beside him. Immediately, the alarms rang off in my head. This guy dressed as Santa was targeting my child and all the kids who received a yellow candy cane, and I had to stop it. I rushed over to a nearby mall security officer by the food court and explained the situation. The call, the pictures, the color-coded candy canes, but the officer sighed. "Ma'am, please just let him do his job." But I refused to give up. I marched straight back toward the Santa, watching him pull a shy little girl with braided hair onto his lap. For some reason, Santa didn't even ask her what she wanted for Christmas. He took one look at her and stood up from his throne. He handed her a green candy cane and shouted as loud as he could, "Merry Christmas, everyone!" The second those words left his mouth, 3 security guards sprinted toward the little girl's father. The father grabbed the girl and tried to run, but they tackled him before he made it 5 steps. "What are you doing to her father? You've got the wrong guy," I yelled, pointing at the Santa. That's when the little girl with braids screamed, "I want my real mommy!" The same officer who dismissed me was now putting handcuffs on the man while calling for backup. Police arrived within minutes, and I heard one of them say, "That's definitely her. She's been missing since October." I was completely wrong, but the truth was also something I never would have guessed. Santa was a retired detective, responsible for finding over 50 missing children across several states in disguise. And the candy canes? Yellow meant a child mentioned knowing someone who might be missing, and green meant he'd found one. The officer who dismissed me had been part of the operation the whole time. The worst part of it all was that the Santa was out here looking for his own granddaughter, believing she'd still turn up one of these days, but she wasn't going to. I made sure of it.